Today we are reviewing Red One, an Ant-Man story. Wait, this wasn't sponsored by Marvel? Stay tuned.
I feel like I'm losing my mind.
Alright, welcome back to another episode of Clear Hair. We are talking about Red One starring Omni-Claus, Elf Ant-Man, Beauty and the Beast, live adaptation, Lucy Looking Good, Ice Thugs in Harmony, and Chris Evans as Hancock. Y'all put this in the theaters. Interesting. $250 million budget. Before we get into the review, I just want y'all to know that I am very unbiased, but I'm also biased because of the money that was spent. All right? But let's go into the review. So the beginning of the movie starts out with, a typical Christmas story. Typical Christmas story where The Rock is near Omni-Man, Santa Claus. He's near him, and he's basically a security guard, and it turns out that he's actually the real Santa Claus who's at the mall, blah, blah. And so they have Dwayne Johnson in red leather, which was an excellent idea, but everything after that, and Lucy Liu looking good, and there was, I want to kind of end the review here, but we must go more. And basically what happens is that Dwayne wants to stop being his head of security because he feels as though he wants to stop being his head of security. So he feels as though, these kids are just bad. They're just horrible. And then, enter Chris Evans. Basically, he literally stole candy from a baby because we want to make sure that we hate him so he can have a good character change. So basically what happens afterwards is that apparently Chris Evans is he is a wolf, basically someone who is pretty much an internet bounty hunter. Like, he finds out things that people don't want to be hidden, so he sells it to the highest bidder. It turns out that there's somebody who wants this information on where is the North Pole, where is Santa Claus, right? Because the government wouldn't have found that out already. So basically when they go back home, and Santa Claus goes back to the North Pole, he sees his wife. He has to show us that he's in shape. So he does 10 push-ups that we didn't need. And so afterwards, basically he's saying, oh, if you want your 2 weeks notice, and then they said, let's have a cookie first. Anyways, so afterwards, it's just not beyond the point. So Dwayne goes outside, to relax and, survey. He knows that one of the lights is out in the tower, basically where they're keeping Santa Claus out to protect him. And so he goes in there and he's like, oh no, one of the lights is out. They're not reporting. So they took him. So apparently they took him. And so The Rock, instead of, flying, instead of flying, because he has no powers besides to be Ant-Man, basically shrink big and get small. He's basically a human who just lives long, okay? But instead of having powers, what he does is he runs along the side of the vehicle that has Santa Claus supposedly. So he catches up to it, cuts it off, and it turns out it was a droid. So basically they look up and they see an airplane leaving the dome. The dome basically is like a supernatural protection against it. And so he's gone. So they finally found Chris Evans. They basically do a reverse VPN, quantum. And they found him somehow. And so somehow Chris Evans just, he never forgot his Captain America. Sorry, he's just very trained for no reason. And so it was a good fight. So when he wakes up to the polar bear from the Coca-Cola commercials. And he's just like, where are they at? Because he's an enforcer. And so he starts giving him a bear hug. But it's not a bear hug he wants. And so after... Sorry. So he gives him a bear hug. And so Dwayne's like, that's enough. And he's like, okay. So basically their mission, because Lucy Liu looking good. You gotta understand, she's been fine all my life, and I've been here for 3 decades, excuse me. Respectfully. So basically she's the director of the company, basically ELF, enforcing lies forever. So basically afterwards, she sends them on a mission to go find him. So they start scouring the earth. And so they go to a toy store where, you know, there's portals that lead to Bermuda or whatever, Aruba, I don't know where they went. So they find somebody and they're just like, hey, and then this when we get introduced to Ice Thugs and Harmony. We get introduced to them next. And so afterwards when we get introduced to them, they battle them. And so it turns out that the person who's after him is Grilla, which is Grilla, which is his brother Krampus, his ex-girlfriend. She's the Winter Witch, right? And she has it out to basically punish people because she feels like you cannot walk around doing bad things unless you're me. Because wouldn't she be on the list? Anyway, so afterwards, she basically, if you say her name, it's kind of like with Voldemort, which I mean, honestly, kind of like with Candyman. Like if y'all just kept their name out of your mouth, there wouldn't be any problem. So he says, Grilla, she turns around, she's like, you know, so it turns out that she wants Santa Claus. She's going to use his energy, his life force, because Santa Claus presents as human, but I guess he's something else. And so afterwards, basically they go on a couple of trips. They go to Krampus. They go to Krampus and they find out that, you know, he does not want to help, which I'm just like, bad guy's got a bad guy. So Krampus is somehow Santa Claus's brother, which he's his brother, okay? And so basically, Chris Evans' idea is that Krampus and the Rock have a slapping contest. And so after he gives him a Chris Rock level of slap, he's like, oh, we gotta find something else. So somehow they are able to defeat them by bringing the boxing toys and like making them big and whatever. So they get away, unscathed, by the way. And so they end up finding out that the GPS location, they never left. So it turns out that Santa never left. Everything was a decoy. The plane was a decoy and the whatever is a decoy. And so Grilla, her plan, like, so her first like success at being mean is basically getting Chris Evans and his son trapped in snow globes together. And basically she's like, oh, it finally worked because, you know, there was a snow globe in the middle of the road and they decided to touch and open it. You know, it's attached to a creepy piano, you know, and so, you know, Chris Evans doing his best Hancock impersonation by not caring about his kids. And so basically not caring about anyone. So basically, afterwards he apologizes for 2 minutes and somehow they're freed from the snow globes. And so throughout all of this, the CGI is CGIing. Okay. And so basically after all of that, they're able to get Santa free. And they're able to get Santa free because Krampus comes and, you know, stops being a bad guy for 1 second, I guess, and comes and helps. And it's like Grilla shows her true form, which is basically a 10-foot Ursula with a Fendi coat on, right? And so basically afterwards, she ends up, you know, getting stuck into the snow globe because the snow globes start cracking. They put her in it. And me personally, I would throw the snow globe away and burn it, but they keep it so she can escape one day. And so afterwards, now Dwayne's just like, you know what? I see what you saw. Everybody does not deserve to be punished. There's hope for them. And so it basically shows that, towards the end, they have I think it's pretty dope. They have basically show like how Santa gets through, you know, he uses the Ant-Man like device to basically get big and get small and the chimneys. And then like they have, army of Dobbies who are going around, helping him. And then he also has, who else is helping him? Like he has a bunch of people helping him. And then like the reindeer were, I don't know, he says something indecipherable. He says, no, kombucha. I don't know what he says. And like the reindeer come, and help him. So the reindeer are all women, which the antlers, I don't know. I don't remember. Bambi was a boy. I don't know. Doesn't matter. But anyway, they come and help. They also come help defeat alongside with Krampus to get him to that. But that's pretty much the overall that's pretty much the overall summary of the movie. I did a little bit longer of a recap only because the movie is longer than I thought it was going to be. Okay, so my overall review. I give the movie a 1 out of 5. The only reason why I give it a 1 is because Dwayne Johnson's wearing red leather and then Lucy Liu is looking good. Like, amazing. Like, I don't know why y'all do not give this goddess her flowers. Like, she's breathtaking. I don't even want to talk no more. I know I have to make my run time to 15 minutes to get the credit on YouTube, but I don't want to talk no more. Like, I just want to just show pictures of Lucy Liu. Like, she looks phenomenal, and she's over there kicking booty in the movie too. I feel like my overall review, the reason I give it a 1 out of 5 is the fact that I feel like the one that I give them is also because they knew not to compete with Wicked and Moana. Respect. That's a good marketing team. You knew you wasn't going to last against the theater kids and Disney. That's a good marketing team. I like that they did that. But me personally, watching the movie, it was nothing that needed a full-winded movie. I feel like the last 10 minutes where they're showing Santa get in and out the houses, like with the Ant-Man stuff, I feel like that could have been like a cool little short, you know, like that could have been like a cool little short, or even like a Christmas commercial, like during like the Christmas football game or Thanksgiving Day parade, like the Rose Parade. I mean, they could have snuck that in there as like a commercial. Like, that would have been really fire. But every part about the movie just gave, this is unnecessary. We did not ask for this. I mean, Dwayne Johnson ends up winning anyways, because fun fact, he's the producer, as he should. Very smart. He's the producer, and he's also in Moana 2. So like, he's getting money twice this month. Okay, he getting paid twice. Period. And he's a producer getting paid thrice. But the fact that, I think another reason too why I gave it a 1 out of 5 is because you had a $250,000 budget, and it showed where it went to. The actors. Like, I felt like half the budget was paying the A-list actors their salary, which is needed, because like I said, being an actress, like, I can just only imagine it's similar to being a model. Like, when I used to model in my early 20s, late teens, like, you're literally living pretty much job to job. So I get it. I'm always in support of that. However, you could have gave that $250,000 budget to 3 different independent filmmakers and let them rock with that. Like, I really feel like a lot of the times, the reason why people don't feel the need to watch a movie is the fact that, like, you're not connecting with your audience. Like, we're tired, no offense, we're tired of seeing the same people. We want a variety. And that's not saying we don't want to ever see you again, but make us miss you. Like, we just saw you again. We're going to see you at the end of the month. Like, make us miss you. And then another thing too is just that we're ready to see fresh new faces. Not saying y'all old, but it is nice to see a fresh face and see them, like, you know, become, you know, major. Like Rami Malek from Mr. Robot, for him, like with him winning his Academy Award for Queen, basically playing Mercury. And like, that was fire. That, like, you know, people, I knew about him because I've known him since, you know, not at the Smithsonian when he played an Egyptian, because he's from Egypt. But it was nice to see that progression. It's kind of like with Buddy from, I can't think of his name, from Twisters. He's slowly like becoming like a household name. I like when we see that. Like, we want fresh faces. I'm sorry, you know. So we can like connect to these people, because to me it's giving very much like, if you don't know like a lot of people, like, you'll never get a chance. And there's a lot of talent out there. Storyline had so many holes in it, like, unbelievable. If I had time, I would literally tell you and list, like, this was a plot hole, this is a plot hole. I did see it in theaters. Okay, I didn't go on a pirate ship. I did see it in theaters, and I can tell you that I didn't feel like the money was worth it, but it was a free ticket by T-Mobile. Shout out to T-Mobile Tuesdays. One day y'all will be a sponsor. I'm speaking into existence, but shout out to T-Mobile Tuesday. It was a free ticket. I took it. But I can sit there and say it was definitely a Netflix movie. I wish they would have. I honestly either want to make, I either wish that they would have just made it a short, or they would have put it on Netflix and just like make it a movie there, like make it a premiere, like premiere it on a Friday night or a Thursday, whatever, Eastern Standard Time. And just do it that way and just save yourself some money. But it is what it is. So don't subscribe, share. It's Claire Haire.